Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Charges have been dropped against one man who was originally accused in the death of another man.
Police say 22-year-old Alan Baer stabbed 23-year-old Jacob Dirks with a knife. But investigators say it wasn't murder. Instead, Baer was defending himself. The stabbing took place Saturday morning at the American Inn Hotel in South Fargo. Police were called on a report of a man walking around the hallways with a gun. Officers say that Dirks and another man named Robert Patel went into the hotel to rob someone. The two are accused of pushing their way into the room, and a fight started with the men inside. Police found Dirks laying on the floor in one of the hallways with a stab wound. He later died of his injuries at a local hospital. And inside the room was Sean Baer, who suffered an injury to his foot. Sean Baer was arrested on unrelated warrants. Now, Robert Patel and another man, Jordan Plouffe, were arrested for conspiracy to commit robbery and conspiracy to terrorize.
And even though he's gone, it doesn't change anything. Like, I'm still his brother. Younger, bigger brother, I guess.
That was Jacob Dirks' younger brother, who says Jacob was in the process of turning his life around and that it's been an emotional past couple of days after losing a loved one. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley has his story that you'll only see here on Valley News Live.
He was the best. Always so supportive. He was always so joyful.
For Ben Dirks, he didn't just lose his best friend and older brother Friday night. He lost his biggest cheerleader.
He would come watch me play hockey. He would live stream, like, whatever he could do. And he would text me, "Oh, good game. Like, I watched you play." And, I mean, it was just nothing but support.
Adding that his brother played that role for everyone in his life.
He wanted everyone to be great. Like, he wanted everyone to do the best that they can and what they're doing. And he meant nothing but good. Nothing but good that would come out of him.
And he continued to be that positive person for family and friends, even while going through some tough times. Ben says Jake was saving up to go to rehab, trying to better his life and get back on track.
Because it's been tough for him, and then hearing that really sent me over the edge.
But Ben hopes his brother's story encourages others to get the help they need.
Something tragic has to happen in order for someone on a type of drug that they finally realize, like, whoa, like, what am I doing? You need to go get the help. Like, it needs to stop.
But Ben says even though Jake is no longer here, he hasn't stopped cheering his little brother on, saying Jake helped his football team with a win Saturday afternoon after an 0-11 season last year.
He definitely helped me out on a few roles. I think he was there with everyone. I just truly believe that game had a lot of meaning.
In Fargo.
I mean, now we gained a guardian angel.
Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
A visitation for Jacob will be held on Wednesday with a funeral and celebration of his life planned for Thursday afternoon.
Bond has been set at $100,000 for a Grand Forks man accused of killing a 5-month-old girl. Mason Kemrowski is charged with AA felony for the murder of his girlfriend's baby Brinley Reimer. Authorities say it happened in an apartment building on the 3600 block of Landico Lane on May 21st. The state's attorney says the autopsy shows the death was a homicide and that the baby died from a traumatic brain injury the next day.
A North Dakota man has pleaded not guilty to allegations that he ingested meth and then engaged in sex acts with a minor. According to court documents, 19-year-old Jacob Eberhardt faces multiple charges, including corruption or solicitation of minors and harboring a runaway minor. Authorities say that during an interview with Eberhardt, he admitted to having smoked meth and having relations with a minor. If convicted, he could face up to 4 years in prison and up to $12,000 in fines.
Sun was out today, so were the clouds, and with light wind, they combined for a pretty quiet and decent start to the work week. Let's check in with Hutch to see if that's going to continue this evening. Hutch?
Mike, it is. We have some thunder shower activity that's forming just south of Nimrod in Wadena County, but that's drifting out to the east fairly quickly. The vast majority of us enjoying clear skies and warm conditions in the 80s and 70s, Bemidji 73. And Fargo 82. Temperatures slipping through the 70s fairly quickly into the 60s. Light winds and almost perfect out all evening long in Fargo. Grand Forks We'll notice an increase in clouds as we head through the late evening hours. Now, it's going to be overnight and closer towards daybreak when we could have a chance of a few strong thunderstorms, mainly north of the Highway 2 corridor. I'll have details on the timing of that, and we'll talk about tomorrow's outlook here in a minute.
All right, thanks.
A Fargo woman is facing a felony charge of burglary after court records show she stole prescription drugs from the home of a longtime friend. It allegedly happened on August 30th at a Moorhead home. Court records state a Moorhead homeowner began to suspect someone was taking his prescription pills without his permission from his home. So he did something about it. He had security cameras installed, and those cameras captured a picture of someone inside the house, and it appeared they were wearing nursing clothing. The homeowner wasn't home at the time, but when he did get home, he checked his video and found the pills missing. As a safety precaution, he had previously replaced the hydrocodone with acetaminophen. The documents go on to state that that's when the homeowner called Skalicki. The two have been friends for over 20 years. The homeowner confronted Skalicki about the missing pills, and court records state that she later admitted to being in the home and taking the hydrocodone. If convicted on the charge, she could face up to 10 years in prison.
A Fargo woman's in jail accused of threatening people with a gun at a Moorhead restaurant. 47-year-old Jennifer Thomas faces multiple charges, including disorderly conduct and assault on a police officer. Officers were called last night about a suicidal woman with a handgun at Buffalo Wild Wings in Moorhead, telling people they should leave the building. Some customers and employees left, but others told police that the woman was still inside and cornering other staff members. Police went into the restaurant, took Thomas into custody. They also recovered a firearm. No one was hurt.
A Minnesota man has died after being thrown from his vehicle in a rollover crash in rural Becker County, Minnesota. Authorities say 58-year-old Lester Ashton of Waubun was the driver. Saturday night, the sheriff's office received a report of a driver being ejected from a vehicle on County Road 158. Ashton was pronounced dead at the scene. The crash remains under investigation.
The search continues for a driver who ditched a vehicle in a farm field after trying to get away from local law enforcement. Early yesterday morning, a Polk County deputy located the vehicle in the field around County Road 61. And when the deputy approached, that's when the driver took off. The deputy lost sight of the vehicle, but was still able to follow the tracks. The car later crashed into a culvert and the driver fled. Still no word on the identity of the person involved.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, the next time you get hungry on the course, you might be able to place a call and have your food flown in.
Up next, what efforts are being stepped up to prevent suicide locally?